Hi everyone, my name is Lydia Waheto. I'm a photographer at Shot by Alama, and today we're talking about the Z9, of which I'm really excited about, and I'm really excited to be talking to Patrick Gitau, who's a food and product photographer here in Kenya. He might just be having the first Z9 in Kenya. We don't know, but I really suspect
Yeah.
so. So we'll get to hear more about it. So, Karibu Patrick, you can introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Patrick Gitau. I'm a food and product photographer in Nairobi, Kenya.
Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe tell us when you started your photography. Did you start with food and product, or you started with other things and you switched? How did you start?
From the get-go,
Yeah.
me and wifey, we started a bakery, me and my wife.
Yeah.
So that's how I started taking pictures of the cakes with my
Yeah.
phone. Then
Yeah.
later, I was able to get a camera. My first camera was the Nikon D32,
Mm-hmm.
which
At
is
3200.
yes, it's a crop sensor camera, very
Yeah.
basic.
Yeah.
So I shot with that for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So my journey started when I started learning about, because I was a designer before
Mm.
photography. I was a designer.
Okay.
So when I started shooting, I realized I really love photography. And
Yeah.
so I started doing tutorials, self-teaching, mostly
Mm.
concentrating on food.
Okay.
So it's really grew on me, and I
Mm-hmm.
decided, let me invest in this. Let me just
Mm.
invest in food photography. So I
Yeah.
decided, let me get a pro body. So
Mm-hmm.
I saved up, I jumped from the D32 to the
Mm-hmm.
D850. That was a very big
Wow, that's a
jump.
big jump. Yeah.
That's a big jump.
Because,
Yes.
yeah.
It's a very, because I figured I needed a full frame.
Yeah.
So I just decided, let me save up, I buy the D850.
Yeah.
Because already I was used to the colors of the D32
Nikon. Yeah.
Nikon color. So I decided,
Mm.
let me not change to another brand, let me just stick Nikon.
Yeah.
So I invested in the D850. That was around 2017.
Yeah.
Um, and I started now professionally shooting with the D850.
Okay. I totally agree. That jump is major because you're from big entry level camera straight
to
to
the
pro.
to Pro, yes.
Yeah.
But I think
So,
when I did research, I thought since I would still be forced to upgrade to the 850, why not just start with it immediately?
mm,
That's why I
mm,
think because I had other options, the 750. That time, I think the 75, no, not the 7500, the 7200. There are so many other
mm,
bodies in between, but I just thought, let me go
yeah.
50. Yes.
Yeah, I guess it really does make sense because you've just bridged the gap a lot faster than you
Yeah.
would have. So, what was the biggest difference now, moving from a 3200 to the 850?
It was huge. The 3200 is like a toy. As when you hold it in
Yeah,
your hand, it's so small and it's so
yeah,
light. The
yeah.
850, I love it's hefty. It's very heavy. So
Mm,
I love the heaviness. Of
yeah,
course, the sensor.
mm,
You're able to achieve more depth of field with a full frame,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah,
So and the clarity, the difference is just huge. Let's say.
yeah. And it has a 45, I think, megapixel
45
sensor, right?
megapixel
Yeah.
sensor,
Oh,
yes.
yeah. And the other one
And
is 24. So,
the other is 24. Of course,
yeah,
the 850 also in video, it didn't have autofocus in video, but it has
yeah.
the 4K,
Mm.
full frame 4K. So the jump was really very drastic, and I
Yeah,
really loved the 850 till today. Yes.
yeah, yeah. It's a workhorse. I think it's something that you
It's our
can do
course, yes.
a lot with.
With
Um, So
Yes.
when did you switch from, okay, did you actually even switch, or did you just add on top of the D850 a mirrorless? When did the mirrorless come in? When your
Okay,
first
in
mirrorless
between,
camera? Mm-hmm.
okay, actually in between,
Mm-hmm.
I needed a second body because I would go
Yeah.
somewhere, I find maybe I want, instead of changing lenses all the time,
Mm.
why not have a second body?
Yeah.
So that one, that was, I opted for the 750.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought the 750, but I
Okay.
didn't use it as much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up selling the 750
Okay.
and getting a mirrorless Z6.
Okay.
So the Z6 became my second body.
Mm-hmm.
So in case I was somewhere where I needed two cameras, I was able to
Yeah.
use the 850 and the Z6.
Okay.
So the Z6, I think once you
Mm-hmm.
switch to mirrorless, you just fall in
Yeah.
love
Okay.
because
Yeah.
yes, you're not using the viewfinder sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're
Mm.
just seeing the image the way it is on the back of the screen,
Yeah.
and the experience is very different. Let's say,
Mm.
yes. So okay, that pretty much yes.
Does it feel like you're having two different systems? Because now your lenses are different for a mirrorless system. It's different. Does it feel
And
like, even though it's Nikon, does it feel like they're two different systems, or you're able to
uh,
just use them seamlessly?
you okay with the adapter, you're able
Mm-hmm.
to use them almost seamlessly, though the
Okay.
lenses sometimes have a certain lag when
Okay.
you're trying to adapt the F mount lenses to the Z mount. So sometimes there's a
Yeah.
slight lag when maybe you're
Okay.
shooting, but that's when you're doing photography, it's not as much.
Yeah.
Maybe when you're doing
Yeah.
video. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So in the beginning, you hadn't really accumulated the lenses for a mirrorless system to begin with.
The no.
Okay.
Because now I got the Z6 with a kit
Yeah.
lens, the
Mm-hmm.
2470 kit lens, which
Mm.
was for food, that's very much adequate because you rarely shoot food in those really low apertures unless it's a
Yeah.
style a client is going for. But most
Yeah.
times the f4 actually works.
Yeah.
So that one was the kit lens for me, and it's really worked out for some time.
Okay.
But of course, I had to add more Z mount lenses as well.
Okay. When did you get the Z6? Which year did you get the Z6?
Z6 was pretty recent, I think around 2019. If I'm not wrong,
Ah,
yes,
okay.
2019. Yes.
Okay. So coming to 2020, I think the Z9, I know guys are right now talking about the Z9. It's a 2021 release, I think.
Sorry?
It's a 2021 release, I
2020,
think.
21. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It's 2021.
So what made you want to switch from, okay,
To,
not switch, but add add the Z9? Because I know for a lot of people, Nikons and video are not related. They're not the cool kids of video.
okay, it's true,
Yeah,
by the way.
yeah.
Because I think the Z6, the video quality was actually not bad.
Mm-hmm.
The autofocus wasn't bad, it was medium, it was average, let's say. But
Yeah,
when they announced the Z9,
yeah.
I think I just fell in love. I told myself, this is a
Mm.
camera, this is an all rounder camera where you can
Yeah,
do video, you can do photography as well. And
yeah.
I think everything nowadays is very geared towards video, whether it's
Mm.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah,
It's more
yeah,
video geared. So I figured, let me invest in something that is an all rounder, and that's
yeah.
why I settled on the Z9
Mm.
because I knew for commercial work, let's say you're
Mm.
doing commercial work, photography, you can still use it. If you're doing commercial work for video, you can still use
Yeah.
the Z9 as well. So
Yeah.
for me, it was something that I purposed. When they announced it, I think in March of 2021,
Yeah.
I just told myself I'll save up this camera.
Mm.
Yes.
I think that's a very interesting perspective, because I think I didn't hear about the Z9 till much later. And I think the guy who shot for Matata is the one who's made it really like
Matata,
kind
yes.
of known. What's
Oh, yes, I saw that
the
video.
video, the Wababa video.
Baba,
I think
yes.
he's the one who's
Forms our Baba.
who's yeah. So I think he's the one who's really made people think about, because I don't know whether I've ever seen anybody doing a BTS video or talk about shooting video with a Nikon. So that was a
For
really
real.
yeah, I don't think I've
Eye-opening
seen.
video.
Sorry?
Actually, that was, even for me, it was very eye-opening.
Yeah,
And Nikon content is rare. It's very rare to get, by
yeah,
the
it's
way.
very rare.
Yes.
Especially talking about how usage, because you see a lot of Canon and Sony videos on how to use the
Yes.
cameras, but you never hear anybody talking about Nikon for video. A lot of people gravitate towards the Canons and the Sonys, of course, because of the obvious features that were missing in Nikon for video, like autofocus. That was something the Nikons really struggled with. But I'm glad that they've now fixed that on the Z9. How have you found that so far when
Let's
using
just
it?
say it's beautiful.
Mm,
It makes your workflow very easy.
yeah.
Um, of course, let's say if you're a video purist, you say you
Mm-hmm.
focus manually.
Mm,
So some people would say it's not a big deal whether it's manual or, but it really makes your work easier, especially
yeah.
you're a one-man team where you're going to
Yeah.
record, let's say at a restaurant or you're going to a bar to do cocktail videos. I think it
Mm,
makes work very easy
yeah.
because the autofocus is very, very chop, very, very speedy. Um,
Yeah.
I have no complaints about it. It's just beautiful.
Does it fall off? Does it fall off like when this is the thing you want to focus on? I know for us people who do food and product, a lot of the time we're shooting in studio, so we're not outside tracing people outside or wherever. But
Okay.
I don't know whether you found whether it's able to track whatever you want it to track and not fall
Yes,
off.
because it has I think, is it for focusing autofocus you can focus on people, you can focus on
Yeah.
animals, cars,
Yeah.
you can also focus on all of them. There's a setting where you
Yeah.
can focus so it picks whatever is there in the frame at that point.
Mm,
So
yeah.
it's rarely, it actually, I've never found it jumping to something I didn't want it to jump to. It's always
Yeah.
focusing on what you want it to focus.
Yeah. Okay, that's good news, because that's something that I think has been of contention, because you find like for Canons, you find even their vlogging cameras have really good autofocusing systems. So it was high time
Dual
for
pixel
Nikon to, yeah, and they'd
to
still,
do it. Yes, yes.
yeah,
I was
yeah. So
really
it was high
tempted,
time.
by the way. At some point, I was
Yeah,
really tempted.
yeah,
I was saying at some point I was really tempted to go to Sony or Nikon or
yeah,
Canon, but I just chose to stay with
yeah.
Nikon. And I'm glad they were able to really bring out a camera that people who have all invested all those years in
Mm,
in lenses and all
yeah.
can feel, at least I can now use this for. Yes.
Yeah, because yeah, even for me as well, I'd thought about what I should get a Sony camera, but now that this has really slowed me down, it has really made me think, do I really want to jump a whole different system? Meaning, will I keep my current Nikons, or will we sell them off? You know, there's a lot of things you need to decide. So this has really been a good turn, because now it's made me rethink. Okay, so there's a possibility within the Nikon system to do what you want to do. Okay. So
True.
did you notice a big difference between the Z6 and the Z9?
The autofocus,
No,
or just in
just
general,
general usage.
general usage. Um, I love the heftiness of the Z9. The
Okay.
Z6 is also a bit small,
Mm,
so sometimes you feel like you're not holding a. Okay, I don't know. It's just maybe it's
mm,
just me,
mm,
but when I got so used to the 850, so the
mm.
Z9 they compare, and of course the grip is bigger. If you have big
Yeah.
hands, of course,
Yeah.
it feels more comfortable.
Mm,
But in terms of features, I think also Z9 is very different,
mm.
especially um, with the autofocus. Even when you're doing photography, I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
faster.
Yeah.
It processes things just a lot faster than the
Mm.
Z6. The Z6 is a very good camera, but it can't compare with the Z9. Let's just say.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh. Now we know where to put our money.
It's true. It's. I can say it's a big investment.
Yeah.
It's something you just tell yourself, I'll invest in this, and
Yeah.
then you just treat it like a baby, as in you just some people, I was seeing some jokes where some people would say they even sleep next to it, and as in it's that
Yeah.
it's that serious, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's a very, because currently you have to pre-order it, right? It's not really available amongst retailers.
No, it's not. No,
Yeah.
it's not
So
available.
yeah.
Nikon Kenya, they tell you they can do it maybe in 3 or 4 weeks, so at least that's
Okay.
an option. But
Yeah.
because if you tell yourself you import from the States, you'll
Mm.
wait even 6 months, so you'd rather even go with Nikon Kenya.
Okay. Are they the ones who helped you get it in? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
they brought I think two bodies. I was
Hmm.
fortunate to get one of them too. Yes,
Okay. Okay. So Nikon Kenya is doing some good work, I guess.
they're really
Yeah.
trying. Yes,
Yeah. So I think I've seen for the Z9, it has 8K 120 FPS. Have you been
yes,
able to test that? And
yes. I've
how has that been?
I've actually I've challenged myself to try shoot raw footage. Of course, it has so many. Before you even go to raw, it has the H265,
Mm,
the ProRes HQ, the ProRes RAW.
mm,
Then you have now the end RAW.
mm.
But the it's big. It takes on. You have to have like a card
Very
over
big
500
storage.
GB. So
Yeah.
that's very big storage. So in the
Mm,
meantime, I think I'm able to shoot the H265 10-bit, which is a very good
mm.
format as well. It
Yeah.
has a lot of data and it doesn't take on so much space. But I've shot a few clips with the 8K as well, and it's
Okay.
trying to grade them. It's
Mm,
just beautiful footage, let's say.
yeah. I think for me, I really like that. Of course, they're doing 8K now, and they also have the option of 4K. Sorry, I said 8K 120 FPS. I think it's
Eight
8K
or
30,
60, 60 up
60,
to 60.
60
Yes,
up to 60 FPS. It's 4K
yes,
120. Okay.
4K 120.
Um,
Yes,
yes, that's a correction. um, I think for me, I just felt like they had the option of pushing it to, if you're doing 1080, to push it to 240 FPS, so that, because I think there are other
yes.
Sony cameras within that price range which are having 240 FPS. So I don't know why they didn't think, or why they didn't go that option, or whether, I don't know whether they'll do an update on that, or
Maybe,
whether
probably.
yeah, but I thought that was a missed opportunity to take it up to
240.
240 frames per second for what 1080p at
For,
least.
okay.
Yeah,
It's true, by
but
the way.
anyway, we'll wait and see. So I think for what has been also a bone of contention for some of the other mirrorless cameras, I think it is the Z7, if I'm not wrong. It had, I
The
think, one
Z7
battery.
Trips.
Yeah, it had one
The Z7, yes.
battery slot. Yes.
Yes. One card
Uh,
slot.
oh, sorry, one card slot, not
Card or
battery. One
battery?
card slot. One card slot.
Card.
The Z9 has two, but is it the normal
Yes.
cards that we use for both of them?
For both, you can either use the XQD or
Mm-hmm.
the CF Express Type B.
Okay.
So you can use either or, but they advise you to use the CF Express Type B, which is able to match the camera's capability more. The
Okay.
XQD is a bit slow sometimes.
For that, those of us who are sometimes technically handicapped, when you talk about the SFX, do you mean the normal SanDisk, not the thick? We should insert a picture here. We
It's
should insert a picture here to just show
a
guys
picture
which
to see.
yeah, link, yeah.
I think the CF Express is similar to the XQD. It's a bit thicker.
Yeah.
It's not the small. It's not the small SD card.
The thin one, yeah.
The thin one, no. It's a bit bigger, and of course a bit more pricey. But the performance is much better than the SD card.
Okay.
Yes.
Makes sense. So when you get the kit, when you get now the Z9 kit, do you have to purchase the battery separately? I guess the cards, of course, you have to purchase separately, but for the batteries, does it come with the camera, or you have to purchase them separately?
No, it comes with a battery.
Okay.
A very big battery that can stay the whole day when you're doing photography, video. It can stay, depending on what frame rate you're shooting at, it can stay a couple of hours. But it's a very good battery, very good performance. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I think have a pretty good idea about the Z9. Maybe the last thing I'd want to ask you about it is whether now you can share lenses from the Z6, whatever you had from the Z6, you can use across with the Z9 as well.
Yes. So you can share the Z mount lenses from the Z6, which is also a full frame. So you can use on the Z9. And then the F mount lenses, you have to use the adapter, the FTZ1 or 2, for you to adapt to the Z body. And I found most of them actually work very well. Even some third-party lenses from Sigma, they work very well using the adapter as well. So at least you're able to still utilize your old lenses.
Okay, that's good news for guys who had already crossed over to the mirrorless. Now, at least for those guys, it will be so much easier to cross to the Z9. So I just want to say thank you for making the time to talk to us about the Z9. I think it's though it came out last year, it's still pretty new. A lot of reviews are even coming out this year. A lot of what people are breaking down about it, the usage and how it works, is coming out this year. And I'm glad we've gotten a local perspective on the Z9 so that those of us who are in the Nikon system, we are tired of not being the cool kids of the in the camera world, but now we have
It's true, by the way.
yeah, because we're treated like those guys who just don't know what they want in life. But I'm glad that Nikon is actually now stepping up.
No, it's true, by the way,
Yeah, yeah.
because
But the,
actually, okay, even without video,
mm,
sorry, when I was shooting and now when I progressed a bit in the food photography,
yeah,
people would actually ask what camera body, and
mm,
when you tell them Nikon, they're so surprised. I would wonder, why are you so surprised? Because most
yeah,
people don't associate Nikon with professional work, even
yes,
photography. It's
yeah.
very interesting, by the way.
Yeah, but I really do like the Nikon. I think we were talking earlier, and you were telling me how much you like the Nikon for the colors, which is something I also think Nikon has been able to do very well. They have very good
Yes,
colors, and for us who now are, we have to be now hybrid. We have to do photography, and you also have to cross
hybrid
over to
content
video.
creation. Yes,
Yes, yes. I think the Nikons do this now. New entry does a very good job now.
yes.
Yeah. So, any last words you want to share with us?
Um, okay, I don't even know, but I would just say, if you're planning
Yeah.
to invest in a camera body,
Mm,
uh, Nikon has released some very nice mirrorless cameras. The Z, the entry level, the ZFC, the
yeah.
Z50,
Mm,
and maybe a bit the Z5 as well. So I
mm,
think right now there's so many options you can use, even for Nikon, and they all
yeah.
have the same color science. And
Mm,
I think you're not short-handed right now
yeah.
if you're planning to invest. Yes.
Yeah. So I think for me, all I can say at the moment is thank you so much for making the time. I know for a lot of us, time is not easy to come by, and even sharing your expertise and your experience from which other people can learn from. So
Thank you for
asante
the
sana.
opportunity. Okay,
Yeah.
asante.